Hello everybody, my name is Tawqeer Zafar and today I will be discussing with you the concept of imperialism and colonialism. See, imperialism and colonialism. These two important concepts, and there is a thin line difference between the two concepts. They are the two sides of the same coin. Imperialism and colonialism. Imperialism comes from the word imperium, which means to have authority, command, control of a strong country over a weak country. And this authority, this command, this control over a weak country by a strong country can be in two forms: indirect and direct. Direct control, like the physical presence of the strong country into the weak colony, where the powerful country make the colony over the weak country. Colonialism is, I told you, they are the two sides of the same coin. There is a thin line difference between the two concepts. So they both can be used for each other. Like I can tell British imperial power and I can also tell British colonial power. But there is a difference. This is what I will explain you. Colonialism comes from the word colonia, which means these two terms, imperium and colonia, are Latin terms. Colonia means to settle in a foreign land, settlement in a foreign land. Settlement in a foreign land or a foreign soil. See, imperialism is a theory, you can say, or a policy. In comparative politics, it is a policy. And this is, colonialism is the implementation of that policy. So it is practice, practical form of imperialism. Colonialism does not mean that, a group of people settles in a particular area. Like, for example, a group of 500 people go and settle in Argentina. It doesn't mean that. It means that there is a mass shift of the people where there is a control of that people, the foreign people, on the indigenous people. So colonialism has wider perspective, like it is political control, political subjugation, economic subjugation, and socio-cultural dominance. But in the case of imperialism, it is more, political in essence, controlling politically, administratively the indigenous, politico-administrative system. So colonialism is the practice of imperialism, which is a policy, and these two things are done by military strength. It is done through imperial exercise on a weak country, on a less powerful country, by a very strong country. Like, Britain controlled America. In America, they made the first colony, and the first colony was Virginia in 1607. Subsequently, they made 13 colonies in America. So even that was a form of colonialism. In case of India also, there was the indigenous settlement. There was, the mighty Mughal empire which was ruling and which was on the verge of falling after the decline of, after the death of the last great ruler Aurangzeb in 1707. And finally the coming of the British East India Company, and after a trading company, they became conqueror and finally they became ruler. So that is also the kind of imperial conquest, and this is done through conquest, and they followed the policies of conquest. If you try to understand, this is direct control, this is indirect control, this is in the form of influencing. So this cannot be done without implementing the policy of imperialism, where the military might is required. In essence, just try to understand one more thing. In essence, imperialism and colonialism. I told you the difference. In essence, they exploit, they control the weak country. So this control or exploitation, this is done in three forms. Political subjugation, economic exploitation, and socio-cultural dominance. This is a third, you can say, the form of control: political subjugation, economic exploitation, and socio-cultural dominance. Of how, you see, this is an imperial power A, and it has a colony. It makes a weak power a colony. A controls this colony. Like India was a colony of Britain. America was a colony of Britain. There were 13 colonies of Britain. So they control it politically, economically, and socio-culturally. Political control is done through, first they conquer it by the military strength, and dominate the indigenous people, then root the indigenous politico-administrative machinery and plant their own system of administration. In case of America, we see that they started from the scratch, that they settled down in a particular area because of the pressure of population in Europe. There are various factors for the rise of imperialism and colonialism. One of the factor was pressure of population, the outburst that was happening. So they started, hunting for new areas to conquer that area, and there can be a mass shift of the people from that particular area to the new area. And this was done in the case of, navigation and, exploration, when the age of Renaissance started. Then, it was supported by geographical discoveries, by the discovery of magnetic compass, which, showed them the route, the direction. It was sponsored by the state that time for hunting the new areas, like, Africa, America was discovered by Christopher Columbus, India was discovered by Vasco da Gama, then in Africa also the British navigators and explorer, they went and they found a new area and they start writing in their book. And when those books were published in Europe and those books were studied by the ruler of the state, they thought of controlling those areas. That is why you see the new imperialism which started from 1881 in Africa, there started the partition of Africa, which we called as scramble for Africa. The hunting of these areas by the imperial powers in Africa. Likewise, other areas were also conquered by the process of exploration and navigation. Industrial revolution was also one of the factor because of the search of raw material on a throwaway price or cheap price or free, so that industries can be developed. Modern industries can be developed. The raw materials were feeded in hungry machines, modern machines in Britain, and that becomes a very strong reason for imperialism and colonialism. Other reasons were also there. So political subjugation, controlling the indigenous politico-administrative system through military might, through military strength. Economic exploitation is a very important thing in which the weak country is being economically exploited. Their raw material was being taken and was feeded in the machines of Britain, where industrial revolution actually took place. And then the colony was also acting as a market. एक तो raw material ले जा रहे हैं, second those colonies of the weak nations, the weak countries were acting as a market, where the import and export is decided by the master country, by the imperial power. So in that case, what happens? They control the weak country, they control their economic system, they exploit them, brutally exploit them. That is why they did in India also. The control over agriculture, that control over trade and commerce, the export and import, the colony cannot trade with other countries. The colony only can trade with other colonies which is being controlled by the master country, the imperial country. Then the taking of the raw material, drain of wealth, in all the aspects, in the form of land revenue, in the form of commercialization of agriculture, deindustrialization. There are various forms in which the country's vested interest, the imperial power's vested interest is fulfilled and the interest of the colony is negated, like it was done in the case of India, or like it was done in the case of America, which was a great supplier of raw material to British imperial power. India was also a great supplier. Then there is a socio-cultural dominance, and here to control the indigenous culture and spread the foreign culture, Western culture, here the role of Christian missionary is very important, which is also a root cause, one of the factor for the rise of imperialism and colonialism. The attack on the socio-cultural and religious ethos of the indigenous country or the colony, and converting them into Christianity. Dharam parivartan hona shuru, spreading the Western culture, and tarnishing the image of the indigenous culture, culturally dominating them through education, through institution, the spread of English language, the spread of English culture. So political subjugation economic exploitation and socio-cultural dominance, in which a strong country controls the weak country and that weak country is made the colony. As I was telling you, what are the important factors for imperialism and colonialism? I told you industrial revolution becomes the very important factor. Industrial revolution happens for the first time in England, and they required huge amount of raw material and market, and for that they started doing imperial expansion or territorial expansion. They started making colonies in the different parts of the world. The second reason was geographical discoveries. The exploration and navigation, the discovery of invention of magnetic compass, then the science and technology, the invention of light machine guns, the technological advancement in weapon. Then pressure of population was there because the Europe was outbusting, there was huge population explosion was there, so there was need to mass shift to the people from one place to areas which is has a large chunk of land where the indigenous people are living, so to oust them, the indigenous people, and settle the new people. Then role of Christian missionaries, as I told you, was also an important reason. In the garb of spreading Christianity, they acted as they acted as a source of information for the country. And in that case, when they start spreading the Christianity in the indigenous country, in the colony, and there is a confrontation between the Christian missionaries and the indigenous people, because they start converting them into Christianity, converting their indigenous religion and culture, what happens? Then there is a confrontation, and this confrontation in which the Christian missionaries goes back and complain it to the government at home, and in retaliation to this, they attack the colony, the country which is a weak country where Christian missionaries went for conversion. So conversion was one of the reason. Second reason was to spread Western culture, and the third reason was political control. So these are very important factors that led to imperialism and colonialism. In a common concept that a weak country controls a small country and makes the colony. Colonialism is settlement in the foreign land, and imperialism is basically the policy in which the authority can be established on a weak country through military power. And colonialism cannot be done without imperialism. So imperialism is a policy, colonialism is the practicality of that particular policy. It is more political, it has various aspects: political, socio-cultural, economic. If you come to this economic exploitation, it was also done in the form of initially in mercantilism, then industrial capitalism, and the third is finance imperialism. Stages of imperialism. In mercantilism, this is a term given by Adam Smith, and in this, the mother country controls over the colony, in which the balance of trade is in the favor of the mother country, and there is a huge imposition of tax on the colony. Like colony, America was a colony of Britain, and there is no free trade can be carried out, and the trade was in the favor of the mother country. At the same time, the trade was being carried out in the form of bullion, which is a lump of gold and silver, and this trade is being carried out and between the mother country and the colony, and this trade is basically export is more than import. So more export for the mother country. So the flowing of the bullions, which is the lump of gold and silver. एक्सपोर्ट ज़्यादा करेगी कॉलोनी, ठीक है, बेचेगी ज़्यादा, खरीदेगी कम. तो बेचेगी तो किस फॉर्म में ट्रेड हो रहा है? बुलियन के फॉर्म में, जैसे सोने के बिस्किट, सोने के टुकड़े. तो more the bullion to the mother country, the strength of the mother country increases. Okay, this is brief concept of mercantilism. Then the second phase, industrial capitalism, where the huge amount of capital is spent in industrial development. And from there, the products are made and again circulated in the different parts of the colonies as a market, because colony act as a market and a supplier of raw material also. So in the second stage, making huge money. The third stage is finance imperialism or finance capitalism. Finance capitalism, where there is a foreign investment done, venture capitalism, banking institutions, financial institutions were made, in which the huge, flow of the capital comes into the colony for money making, for profit in some project. The huge, profit is made by the imperial power. And the development of venture capitalism, the development of banking system, the financial institution, these are important facets. So in this class, I discussed with you the concept of imperialism and colonialism, which is the two sides of the same coin, and there is a thin line difference between the two concepts. In the next class, we'll try to discuss some other topic. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.